On over with me, and we're going to talk about cameras. So many of you out there use your cell phone as your camera. And hey, that's fine with me. I got no issue with that. You know, when I go hang out with my buddies and I go up to Connecticut and we hang out, we go to this bar called the Horseshoe, we hang out, we all have our cell phones because those are bar pictures. But you need a real serious camera. If you're going to be going to a wedding, if you're going on the trip of a lifetime, if you're going on a cruise, if you are celebrating an anniversary, the birth of a child or a grandchild, you want a real camera. Now, I understand the problem with a real, fully featured, top-of-the-line camera is they're $800, $900, $1,200, $1,500. Minolta, and you all know that name, has brought us a camera. Lou was looking at it. Everybody here was checking it out. It is a slam dunk deal on the most fully featured, best featured camera that we carry here at HSN. Under $500. In fact, it's under $400 today. They dropped the price from $493 to $374. It is full out awesome. This is a professional style camera. I'm gonna take the lens out here and I'm gonna turn it on. It is a professional style camera. It has two viewfinders. It has a regular viewfinder, which you'll see here. I'm gonna turn it on. Okay, there it goes. It is a regular viewfinder, and it has the one where you can put your eye up to it if it's a really, really sunny day. And this guy, believe it or not, this guy has a 67 times zoom. I'll say that again, 67 times. You know what that means? You don't have to buy a bunch of other lenses for this. If you want to get 67 times closer to the bride, to your kids in the school play, right? Maybe it's your kid playing football and you're way up in the stands. This is the way to do it. You've got a viewfinder here, you got the viewfinder there. There's so many things to talk about that I don't even know where to start, all right? It has the articulating LCD screen. It has Wi-Fi. Why is Wi-Fi important? All the pictures you take on this, you can send to anybody because it's got built-in Wi-Fi. It has an SD card that we're gonna give you, a 16 gigs, so you don't ever have to buy film for this. All right, and you can pop the card out and you can share that way, or you can pop it into your computer. We are giving you the case. We are giving you the card, the 16 megabyte card. It has built-in flash. It literally has everything. The only thing you need to decide is whether you want to get it. Do we have two colors or one? We have two. So you can get it in the purple, or you can get it in the red, and you get a case, rechargeable battery. Joe, come on out. I cannot name everything on the list that this camera does.
And it's really impressive.
But when you're using this camera, people will think you're a professional photographer.
Right, and it actually makes you look like a professional photographer.
It's a professional camera.
You know, we look alike.
Totally twins, me
We are
Joe.
twinning it today.
All right. Take a picture, Joe, take a picture.
I know, should be able to capture it.
Yes.
But that's the great thing about, you know, when we used to get cameras 5 or 6 years ago, we used to buy the bigger cameras. We had all the interchangeable lenses, and it became a lot to hold on to. And we loved it, but then it became so much weight, so difficult to use. And then cell phones came out with all the fancy cameras, and then you had the convenience. But what you ended up sacrificing with is the quality of the picture. Yes, they looked great when you were looking at your photos on your 3-inch screen, but when you go to print them off, a lot of us are disappointed. So where do the photos end up? They stay on your computer, and that's where they are. With this Minolta camera, every picture you're gonna take is gonna look like a professional picture. Whether you are the first time you've ever taken a shot or you're a professional photographer, this has all the adjustments to the 20 different modes that are on there to now make those pictures best. But what this does that your cell phone doesn't do is this, it doesn't zoom in. This is a 67 times zoom.
It's not a pinch and zoom.
No, like my cell phone, I paid $1,000 for my cell phone. My cell phone has a 4 times zoom. And you see the lens, like the size of your cell phone lens is like a millimeter. Look at the lens on that. Now I'm at 5, 10, 15, 20, anytime now up to 67 times zoom. So what does it mean for you? If you're looking at something 670 feet away, it's gonna feel like it's just 10 feet away.
That's awesome.
Now 670 feet away is a football field. Have you ever been to a football game? Ever been to a soccer game? You try to zoom in on your friends or even been at a concert and you're that far away and all the photos look like you're so far away. It's because you don't have a zoom. Now it feels like you are 10 times closer or are 10 feet away compared to 670 feet away. It really makes a world of difference. I want to show you because a lot of times people think, okay, I'm looking at these photos and I'm hearing what you're saying, but is this really a real life scenario? I'm going to show you when I took my kids to New York City.
Yeah.
Guy, I wanted to capture a picture of the skyline. There's the Freedom Tower in the background. There's the Brooklyn Bridge. They have the river. And then I noticed, oh, there's a barge getting pulled by a tugboat. Now, because I have 67 times zoom, I can actually zoom in. If you took a picture with your cell phone, this is what it would look like. And then you do this thing where you pinch and zoom. And every
And it would
time,
get blurry.
That's right. Every time you pinch, you really degrade the quality. So now I can take that same photo without moving. And I'm zooming a little bit closer. Now still there's the Freedom Tower, but now there's that tugboat, the barge, and you can see the tugboat is actually sailing away from me. But this isn't even 67 times zoom. Let me zoom in even closer. Now you're looking at that tugboat. Now I can see the American flag that's on there. I can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 portholes. And then I notice, oh, there's actually somebody in that porthole that's down there on the bottom, but I can zoom in even closer. Guy, there's that same gentleman right there. There's the tugboat. There's the guy down below looking forward. It's 67 times zoom. So
hold the before and after up. Yeah, there you go. All right, so there it is.
There's the tugboat right there. There's me zooming in on the tugboat. So when I say 67 times closer without losing any quality, look how sharp, look how clear the tugboat is, even from hundreds of feet away. So when you're talking about being at a wedding, being at a recital for your kids' play, and you can never get up close, and you can't stand up and get up close, this brings everything closer to you.
When Danny graduated college, I was so mad at myself because I have a very expensive camera that I got years ago from HSN. I actually bought it for Danny. Many years, and I forgot to bring it. And it didn't even have this much of a zoom, and it was 4 times the price. And it didn't have that. It didn't even have that zoom. But I was so mad at myself because there they are graduating on stage, and we were probably 50 to 75 yards up in the bleacher seats. And I could barely see him. And there was a guy about maybe 4 rows away, and he had a really nice camera like this. And I'm like, son of a gun, why? I mean,
it's a moment that happens one time.
It'll never ever happen again. The birth of a child, your kids, maybe they're playing in their first baseball game, right? It could be a graduation. It could be an anniversary. Do not rely, and listen, I'm not poo-pooing your cell phone. In a pinch, a cell phone is a great thing. But a cell phone primarily is a way to call people. That's how it started. It's not your video device. It's not your imagery device. It's not what you rely on to take pictures. So if you've got something coming up this spring or this summer, I know Danny's got a buddy that's getting married next year. He's having all kinds of parties, and he takes that expensive camera now wherever he goes. Of course. But honestly, he paid, like I said, he paid 4 times the price. And that camera, if you want to get closer, you have to buy other lenses.
And then
and guess
the
what?
lenses are exposed.
The lenses are $300 a piece.
You start adding it up and you are thousands of dollars. This already has that anywhere from super tight shot to now 67 times away. And when you look at the camera, it's unlike any other camera you've purchased because when you just hold it in your hand, it feels substantial. They designed this to where when you're gripping the handle, you actually use your arm and your hand as a stabilizer. So now when you're zooming in 67 times away, it's nice and steady, perfectly in your hand. They've also designed this to make it super easy that on the top, you can put it for A for automatic, let it do its thing. Or you start spinning the wheel, and now there's 20 different program modes that are on this. You also see right there, there's that Wi-Fi symbol. Do you know why? You can download the app to your phone, and then you can upload every picture from here to your phone, so you can send it to Facebook, send it out as a text if you want to. It really makes it nice. You notice there's 2 white dots there? Those are 2 microphones, because this also records high-definition video with a left and a right mic, so it has stereo sound that is built into this. On the bottom of it is a rechargeable battery. You never have to pay for batteries again. We also give you the SD card so you can take thousands and thousands of photos, but this becomes that camera that you're gonna use for your everyday life, but also for those once-in-a-lifetime memories, because with having a 67 times zoom, you can't get any closer than what we've offered today. But Guy, I wanna show you a couple more photos I'll have, if that's okay. So when we talk about how close you can get with 67 times zoom, I took my kids back out to New York City. We're walking now in the city, and there's a statue down here, and we noticed that, oh, this is a beautiful, New York cityscape. But again, if I wanted to get closer to that statue, what would you do with your cell phone? You pinch and zoom. Isn't this what like every picture that you ever take looks like with your cell phone? Because your cell phone has no zoom. But now, just zooming in a little bit, I noticed, oh, there's the guy with the statue. Then I've got this beautiful shot of the Empire State Building in the background, and then I had the bird that was on top of this guy's head. Doesn't that look professional? but it's just you putting an automatic mode and you've got it. But I can still zoom in even further, and now I can see just the detail in his hair and his eyebrows and his mustache and even the sharpness of that beak that's on that bird there. And again, I didn't move forward, I didn't get a ladder, I just zoomed in with my Minolta camera, and I went from this, where you can barely see the guy, to now the bird that's sitting on top of his head. That's how close you can get with your Minolta camera.
All right, so here's the deal. We don't have a lot of these to go around. I know we have hundreds. That's it. We dropped the price. The price is 100 and something off, but here's a really good deal. And I know you want a camera like this, but you're like, guy, it's $374.99. How much did you pay for your cell phone? I paid $1,000 for my cell phone. And the camera, I think it might be 12 megapixel. This is 20.
20, so much more.
For your digital stills, okay, 20. There are some cameras that are 16, but again, you're paying 11, 12, 13, $1,500 for a phone that takes okay pictures. This is a real camera. It doesn't call people, but you can still connect with people because it has Wi-Fi, so you can send the pictures and images to anybody, right? You can send them to anybody. You can send them to their phone, send it to the tablet. So you want to share it, you can do that. But things like weddings and births and graduations, those happen once in a lifetime. Don't use a cell phone camera to do that. And not only that, when you do that, let me ask you a question. How many pictures you got on your phone right now? How many pictures do you have stored on your phone, right? You probably have no space, right? You're wasting all that storage. You never have to deal with that with this because everything is put on an SD card, right? So you can always take the card out and put another card. And we give you a 16 gig. You can get a 32 gig. You can get 64, 128.
Yeah, and they sell them everywhere.
And they sell them everywhere. Now, another thing that's really important is when you ever take a picture with your phone or with another camera and you get home and it's blurry, right? And you're like, it looks like it's not clear. It's not focused. Yep. This has built-in image stabilizer.
It does. That's why, even though I was so far away, like taking a picture of that, the barge, you see it all.
It's not shaky.
Yeah, it's not blurry at all. And that's the nice thing about using a camera versus using a cell phone. Cell phone's great for making phone calls, and then they started adding all these lenses, and then they're not that great. You know, for me, my personal experience was our once-in-a-lifetime trip was going to Alaska. And when we went to Alaska, it was the first time I had my Minolta professional style camera. And my wife was taking pictures with her cell phone, and I was taking pictures with the Minolta. To this day, the only pictures that we ever printed off, and I even have one hanging in my house, is the ones we took from Minolta, because it's a better picture. It makes your photos look so much better. And I talk about putting everything on A for automatic and just let it do its thing. But if you have those special occasions where you need to really adjust it, there's 20 different modes that are built into it. Now, have you ever taken a picture at night with your cell phone? And this is probably what your picture looks like. You see the person right here, but you can't see anything else that's going on in the background. Watch what happens when you put it in nighttime mode. It's like all the lights from the city turned on. It's like the city said, okay, we're turning all the lights off. We're putting all the city lights back on. Look how beautiful that is. She's in focus, so is that background, but it's capturing all those lights. And that's a nighttime mode. They also have a mode for fireworks. If you ever try to take pictures of fireworks, or how about a sunset? The billions of colors that just make up that sunset, you're capturing it all right there in a once-in-a-lifetime trip. You can take your photos and you have like different negatives and different things that you can do to it. But it's also those memories where the grandkids are coming over, and you want to be able to capture their smiles. It has something called portrait mode and smile mode, where it detects them and takes that shot for you, and everybody looks younger even in portrait mode. Makes your photos look better. I'm going to show you one more that I have right behind me. It's this cactus that I have sitting right here. Oops, let me turn it to the side. So with the cactus, the nice thing about it is this cactus it's beautiful. But let me show you where the cactus is. It's not 670 feet away. It just happened to be sitting right there on the ledge. It even can get close and has a macro mode. So if you want to get just an inch away from it, you can take that flower and then get so close, and notice that everything I took that was 670 feet away was in focus. Now everything just a couple of inches away is also in focus, capturing the color, capturing the contrast, capturing the sharpness that should be. So for me, Guy, I could take this picture, I print it off by like a 10 by 20, but I can make this even larger, and you can hang this on a wall. Every picture you take is a professional photographer.
All right, I have it in purple and I have it in the red. All right, you get the case, you get the charging, you get everything you need for it. All right, you don't even have to buy film because we give you an SD card. I'm gonna have Joe, when he has a second, go through the individual features of the camera, show him how to use the flash, all that stuff. But before I do that, I know that's not cheap, but it's not a cheap camera. It's a really good, it's about a third of the price of a good cell phone. We have VIP financing on this. You don't know what that is and you haven't shopped with us before. We will stretch this out over 12 months and you don't pay any interest. or no fees. Just pay it off within 12 months. What is it, Kyle? $31.25 to get this home and try it out for 30 days. I am telling you, you will get so turned on by this camera because you're going to be like, I never thought I would own something like this.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's Minolta. You're going to have this camera for 20 years, all right? A camera is not something that wears down, right? You just have to keep it recharged. In fact, the battery may be the only thing that ever has to be replaced on it. It's a rechargeable battery, but you never have to deal with that. It'll last you your lifetime. Get this home. Get it in purple.